Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Dempsey with Danielle Motivates, and today we're going to talk about confidence. So I've decided to do a 4-part series on confidence, what it means to me, what it means to no longer compare yourself, what it means to have self-love, how we get confidence even when we don't feel confident, and just all of those inner workings. I really decided to do this because confidence is something that I had focused on quite a few years ago, and I'd really thought that I'd gotten it down pat until a couple of days ago I realized that I've kind of been living in that comparison and self-hatred kind of area. I've not been very nice to myself lately, and I have been struggling a little bit with that confidence that I did a lot of work to build up. And I'm not quite sure where I fell and where I stumbled and lost it all, but here I am trying to get it back. And I wanted to take you on the journey with me. You are amazing, and whether you see it or not, you are. Now, we all have things that we need to work on, and nobody's perfect, but God created you, specifically you, the way you are, the way you look, the way you feel about things. He made you, and He is so happy and excited that you're here on earth, and that's the way we should feel about ourselves too. So I am going to talk about self-love, I'm going to talk about comparison, the media, the whole shindig, and this video really is just to give you a heads up on what's going to be happening in this upcoming month.
L-O-V-E rolls off the tongue, but sometimes the word's just not enough. Gotta dig a little deeper. You gotta love with your life, like a fire burning.
Alright, so this week number 1, what I really want to focus on is guidelines. That sounds kind of weird, and I'm not really sure why I picked that word, but I did. We all have guidelines, standards, expectations, whatever synonym you want to use. We have things that we think we should live up to. And when we don't live up to those things, that's when that self-doubt comes in. That's when that hatred and that pity and all those things that say we're not good enough, those come in because we aren't living up to certain expectations or guidelines that we've set for ourselves. And sometimes these guidelines are superimposed on us. Sometimes we're simply adopting the guidelines around us, what the media has portrayed, what your parents have portrayed. And it might not be exactly what you really think it should be or what you're living towards. So in this first week, we're going to talk about those guidelines. First off, I would just like to say that you get to pick your guidelines. We are the deciders of our life. We choose what we wear, we choose what we eat, we choose what color we dye our hair, what makeup we wear or don't wear, what jobs we take. We get to decide everything in our lives. And we like to, make excuses and say that we don't. But the truth of the matter is, if you want to feel a certain way, you can do it. You need to take steps to do it though. You are not going to magically wake up one day walking around like you're the bee's knees. If you want to feel like you're the bee's knees, you best start believing and making a way so that you believe you're the bee's knees. Alright, so that's what we're going to work on today. What I would suggest to you, and this is what I do for myself, is that you want to go ahead, take a piece of paper, and write out the guidelines that you feel you need to accomplish now, as is. So you're going to take those guidelines that you already have, and maybe they're not the ones you want to keep, but just go ahead and write it out. For me, for example, success growing up, for me, what was taught, what my parents and my friends' parents made us believe was that success was solely based on money, and that if we didn't make enough money, we were not successful. Whenever I had a dream, or my profession, career of choice changed, and I would really feel like that was what I was meant to do, and I'd have all that energy and excitement built up, and I'd run and I'd go say, Mom, Dad, this is what I want to do, this is what I was meant to be. Almost always the first question out of their mouth was, how much does it make? Now, they just wanted me to be comfortable, and don't get me wrong, they are incredible parents and want such great things for me and my brothers. But it was a bummer. And I started to realize that everything I was passionate about, everything I wanted to do, was not going to provide me a wealthy lifestyle. And so then I started to wonder, am I always going to be a failure? until finally one day I did part 2, which is after you've written out all the guidelines that you have or were imposed on you or the media has told you or wherever you're getting your source from. On a different piece of paper, write what you really think it is. What do you really think success is? When I sat down and looked inside of me and had a heart-to-heart with myself and God, success was not about how much money I made. Success was that I had people who loved me. Success was that I had a servant's attitude. Success was that I was living my life for others, that I was a good person. And if I was all those things, then as far as I was concerned, I have a successful life. Now, I may not make a lot. In fact, right now, I make nothing. I'm a stay-at-home wife. My husband and I are working on doing foster care, but like right now, for example, we don't have any children in our care. So I spend my time on the blog and on writing my memoir. And to some people, that may make me look like I'm a failure already, because I'm not making any money. And even before then, I wasn't making much. But I don't feel like a failure, because I don't choose those guidelines. I don't accept those expectations. So I'm not going to judge my life according to someone else's key, someone else's test that has all their right answers marked on it. That's not my test. That's not my life. So I don't need to compare myself to their expectations, whoever they is for you, whoever that entity, that person, whoever. You don't need to grade yourself off of their answer key, because that's their answer key for their life. You have your own. Your life is for you to live. Your journey is for you to walk. So my first step, my week 1 to this month of confidence, is go ahead and take some time and outline what your expectations are, what your guidelines are, and start grading yourself based on those, not somebody else's. And then you'll start to feel a lot more confident, and you'll start to feel a lot happier.